Hey everyone, welcome to the Movie Mystery Lab. In this video, I am going to recap one of the dark comedy movie Bugonia from 2025. Movie starred by our favorite Emma Stone, Jesse Plemons, Aidan Delbus, and Stavros Halkias. Before we get to the storyline, I'd like to wish everyone a happy and fantastic day, and now let's dive into the movie. The movie opens on a seemingly quiet day. We meet Teddy, a beekeeper, and his naive cousin, Dawn. While working their hives, Teddy lectures Dawn about the worker bees. He sees their tragic, hard-working lives dying without complaint as a metaphor. He's not just talking about bees, he's laying the groundwork for his extreme theory. Humans are like bees, enslaved by an alien queen. The mood instantly shifts from pastoral to sinister. Teddy and Dawn are back at the house, exercising for their mission. Their target? Michelle, the powerful and hyper-successful CEO of a huge pharmaceutical company. Teddy is convinced she's the alien overlord in human disguise. Meanwhile, Michelle is at her sleek home, flawlessly crushing her morning workout, utterly unaware of the danger closing in. As they leave, Teddy explains his theory. They and all humans are trapped by an alien pretending to be human. They're heading to the market to grab supplies for the kidnapping. But their timing is off. By the time the paranoid pair reaches the market, the professional CEO, Michelle, has already left for her office, delaying their crazy plan. Back at home for breakfast, Teddy is focused. He gives Dawn a stern warning. No addictions for the next few days. This mission needs their full focus. Dawn is shaky but agrees. Teddy hugs him, calling him his best friend, and says he knows Dawn can handle it. Later that evening, Teddy seals the deal by giving Dawn a mysterious hormone injection for focus. Dawn's body is now part of the conspiracy. The next morning, we see Michelle at her office trying to record a presentation. For the first time, we see a crack in her perfect facade. She keeps getting stuck, hilariously mispronouncing a key corporate word, first as diversify, then correcting herself. A colleague has to step in and tell her the word is actually diversity. It's a moment that highlights her disconnect from true human behavior, reinforcing Teddy's alien belief. Michelle returns home, still on edge from her presentation slip-up. Teddy and Dawn are waiting, dressed and ready. The moment she steps out of her car, they rush her. Michelle is not an easy target. She's strong, immediately punching Dawn to the ground. She kicks Teddy away as he tries to pepper spray her, but missed. She runs, trying to open a door, but Teddy grabs her again, spray in hand, but missed again. They wrestle, and Teddy finally shoves her into a bush. The deed is done. The injection he prepared takes effect, and she collapses. They load her and her belongings into the car. In the car, Teddy is frantic, demanding Dawn to chop off Michelle's hair. He thinks it's an alien transmitter for her ship. Dawn obeys. Back at the house, all of Michelle's things have been burned to ashes. Michelle is tied to a bed in the dark basement. Dawn is confused as Teddy starts slathering her with antihistamine cream. Teddy explains that her alien nervous system is different, and the cream will level up their systems by messing with her neurotransmitters. He insists this isn't torture. They are the ones who have been tortured. That night, dressed in suits, they confront their captive. Teddy reassures a nervous Dawn that he will do all the talking. Michelle wakes up and, thinking she's in a hospital, asks where she is. Teddy grandly announces she is at the headquarters of the human resistance. He tells her she is an alien, an Andromedan, and despite that, he wants to speak to her respectfully. Michelle is initially polite, asking about her shaved head, which Teddy explains is to block her mother's ship. She laughs it off, saying she understands their concern, but she is not an alien. Teddy insists, claiming a thermal scan of her face from Instagram revealed Andromedan code. Michelle denies it, and Teddy gets angry, quickly collecting himself. He leaves her a tape recorder to confess the codes to connect with the Emperor. As he leaves, he whispers a chilling accusation. She's responsible for the deaths of his family and community. Michelle is left alone, terrified and begging to talk as the lights go out. Upstairs, Teddy and Dawn are in a frenzy of joy, dancing and celebrating. Later that night, Dawn watches Michelle on CCTV, seeing her cry. Teddy coldly tells him not to see a woman, but a being of pure corporate evil. Dawn asks, "Is she really an alien?" Teddy confirms she is, and that she's only crying to manipulate them. He tells him to wait for the upcoming lunar eclipse, the night they become heroes. This scene is critical. Teddy is projecting his immense grief and rage onto Michelle. Teddy watches the screen, sinking into a flashback. We see his mother, sick and emaciated in a bathtub, complaining about being fed poison and poked with long needles. She warns him that the industry sells both the cure and the disease. In a surreal moment, she begins to levitate. This is the source of Teddy's trauma and belief. It's 3 days before the lunar eclipse. Teddy is out on his bike and is stopped by Casey, a cop he knows from childhood. Casey is hesitant, almost guilty, asking how Teddy is. He seems to be fishing for information. Teddy brushes him off as he is late for his work. At his workplace, scanning parcels, a colleague mentions her pay was cut after her hand was slashed in the factory. Teddy is furious, confirming his belief that the system is broken and alien-run. He sees a news report on Michelle's disappearance. At home, Teddy is told by Don Michelle isn't eating. He dismisses it as manipulation. They go down to the basement. Michelle has made a recording admitting she's an alien, but Teddy isn't buying it. He accuses her of not even speaking their language. He wants her to demand an audience with her alien masters. When she insists she's not an alien, he smashes the recorder. Michelle, a psychology graduate, tries a different tactic. She suggests he's spending too much time with online content. Teddy snaps, railing against her kind for labeling questioners as internet-fed. She corrects his pronunciation during the rant, and he nearly hits her with a chair, smashing it on the floor instead. She apologizes, tries to reason that he is mentally ill, and he slaps her. Don is visibly shocked. Teddy justifies the violence. They all deny it at first. Teddy and Don leave, and later, Don asks Teddy about what life will be like in space. Teddy corrects him. They're only going for 2 hours to save Earth. Don confesses he's been feeling strange and down since the injections. Teddy dismisses it, assuring him it will pass. It's 2 days to the eclipse. Michelle, trying to escape her chains, is confronted by Teddy and Don, who now holds a shotgun. Desperate, Michelle finally, completely breaks character and reveals a new truth. She is an alien. She's been hiding it, and she wants a resolution. Teddy approaches her, suggests a new beginning, and then ties her to a chair and gags her. He cranks up music and starts electroshocking her. Michelle screams. Don urges him to stop, but Teddy pushes him away, increasing the shock. Don finally yanks the plug. Teddy is shocked that the machine went so far. He reaches for Michelle, removes her gag, and suddenly apologizes, realizing her high pain tolerance means she must be a high-ranking empress. He wipes her face and tells her she has the royal genetic code. A second flashback shows Michelle not as a torturer, but in a meeting with Teddy and his mother. Michelle is apologizing, saying she's meeting with all the families hurt by the company's experiments and that they will make amends. This flashback directly contradicts Teddy's version of events and his pain. It's the night before the eclipse. Teddy unlocks Michelle and leads her upstairs for dinner, treating the royal blood with his best effort. Her chair is bolted to the ground. She tries to engage him, asking about his life. He avoids personal talk. She asks about his movement, and he proudly corrects her. It's just him and Don. She mentions her support for activism. He asks what she finds admirable about bees, and she replies, their work ethic. He agrees. That's why they are so easy to exploit. Michelle brings up his company's drug experiment, nionicodonoids, and insists the effects have been corrected. He calls her a liar. Then she says she knows him, brings up his mother's name, and insists they thought they were doing good. Teddy snaps. He lunges across the table and chokes her, and Don, who is clearly not built for violence, just stands there begging him to stop. During the struggle, the restraints on the chair break. Michelle sees her opening. She grabs a fork, stabs Teddy in the arm, and makes a run for it. But she doesn't get far. Teddy chases her down, and they end up fighting on the floor again. Finally, Don steps in, but not to help her. He knocks Michelle out with his gun to stop the fight. At this exact moment, Officer Casey drives up and rings the doorbell. Teddy quickly turns off the basement CCTV screen and lets Casey in. Casey says he's searching for Michelle and asks to come inside, mentioning her phone last pinged nearby. Casey notices the chair tied to the floor. Teddy lies, saying it was for his mother. Casey shows a picture of Michelle, but Teddy denies seeing her. He expresses guilt about their past, but Teddy waves it off and took Casey to his beehive with full gear. Downstairs, Michelle tries to persuade Don to free her. Don, stressed and holding the gun, admits Teddy is all he has. Michelle insists they will find something else for him. Don is breaking inside. He asks if she's an alien and if she would take him away. She says no at first, but then says yes. Don looks up. Then, in a devastating moment, he tells her, "Tell Teddy he loves him," puts the gun to his chin, and pulls the trigger. The gunshot echoes. Hearing the shot, Teddy goes berserk. He attacks Casey, unmasks him, and hits him. The hive swarms Casey, and Teddy finishes him with a shovel. Rushing to the basement, he finds Don dead. Michelle tells him Don killed himself because of Teddy's lies. Teddy aims the gun at her. She drops the final bomb. She has a cure for his mother. She explains a change is happening inside his mother. He needs to grab a bottle of antifreeze from her car and use it on his mother. Before leaving, Teddy breaks Michelle's knee for Don. Teddy rushes to the hospital and injects the antifreeze into his mother's IV bag and waits for miracle. Meanwhile, Michelle retrieves the keys from Don's body and frees herself. Upstairs, she finds Casey's body and all of Teddy's conspiracy research. Back at the hospital, Teddy's mother does not wake up. She dies. Teddy returns home, gun in hand, and finds a chill Michelle waiting. She calls him a monster and reveals the true history. The Andromedans accidentally killed the dinosaurs, then, out of guilt, created humanity. They've tried to guide humans, but humans are too violent. She says his mother was a test subject, a weak one, but other subjects are showing promise. She needs his help to report back to her emperor on the night of the eclipse. It's the night of the lunar eclipse. Michelle drives to her office with Teddy beside her. Security lets them in. Teddy, now armed with a concealed gun and explosives, tells her to park. Behind them is Don's body in the trunk. Inside her office, Michelle blocks the door with a sofa. From a box, she pulls out a simple calculator. She tells Teddy she needs to input a long code. He's confused, but she tells him to be quiet. Once ready, she tells him to hide in the closet. He stops her, demanding she go first. She says no, and he steps inside and shuts the door. She steps back and starts a countdown. When the countdown ends, there's a colossal explosion. Teddy's head bursts through the door and hits her, knocking her out. Michelle wakes up in an ambulance, where they explain Teddy's homemade bomb likely reacted to his body heat. She bolts upright, shoves the medics, and sprints back to her office, slamming the closet shut. She teleports to her mothership. In a chamber of emperors, she reports. They reflect on Teddy's actions and the totality of human cruelty. The verdict? Humanity is beyond redemption. She carries out her task, resulting in the instant demise of every single person on Earth, all except for the bees, who survived. And that is the shocking, unsettling, and unforgettable recap of Bugonia. It's a movie that asks, when a conspiracy theorist's worst fears come true, who is the real monster? The deluded hero, or the alien he was right about all along? If you like deep dives into movies that make you question everything, hit that like button and subscribe for more content. Until the next upload, you may enjoy this other video right here. And now, Movie Mystery Lab signing out.